2019 25th Anniversary National Legends Cars Championship is sponsored by 24 Hour Solutions. No problems, only solutions.
Hello and a very warm welcome along to Snetterton. Day one of a two-day meeting here. All our rounds, of course, double headers in the 24 Hour Solutions Legends Cars Championship. The drivers are just going for their briefing and it's the draw for grid positions. Let's find out who's drawn where. Connor, grid draw all done. How did you fare in that?
Very well, actually. We're last for this race, but pole for the next race, the second heat. So that's actually my favourite draw, starting last first off and then pole on the next one. So I'm feeling confident.
And the car, we've discussed problems that you had ultra quick, obviously, at Brands Hatch at the very start of the year, but appear to be struggling a little bit. And meeting by meeting, we come to you and keep asking you whether you found things. Is that the case again this weekend?
Yeah, well, I think every meeting we think we found something, but it turns out that we have actually found the main issue. We hope. I'll tell you after the first race. But I think we have actually found it now, so we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I think like Connor, who we just spoken to, you're off the back in race one and towards the front in race two. Does that work well for you?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It means we've got a bit of time when we're at the front and we need to just go and be quick from the word go. We've got that for the second race, so we can slowly wind ourselves up in the first race. So yeah, I'm happy with a back draw for the first race.
The weather's changed, as is evidenced by your hat, and we've got a heater on here in the garage as well. Well, you don't know what to expect really with the British weather.
No, I'm freezing cold, so I think our whole team's freezing. They're all huddling around the heater. Yeah, I don't know. It's raining at the moment. It'll probably dry out by our race. It's typical British summertime.
Mike, decent grid draw for the race?
Yes, red 4. It's a good position for me, I think. Not too far to the front, not too far to the back.
So really sort of mid-distance both races?
Yes, yeah. I think for me it's about just trying to stay in that position, not lose it to some of the drivers coming through from the rear, and stay out of trouble.
Same scenario as we had at Donington Park. You're handing over to Dave for day two. We spoke to Dave on day two at Donington, so we thought it would be nice to talk to you. And you're the guy that gets to warm the car up for the weekend.
That's exactly. I mean, we do have a choice, but the theory was that as I'm the driver that tries to stay out of trouble, I'll set the car up and look after it on a Saturday. Dave gets to give it a good race on a Sunday. It was unfortunate what happened at Donington. He got tapped into the first corner in the final, but not too much damage to the car. We've repaired it and we're ready to go again.
And another thing I just found out is that there's some random breath testing going on with the drivers. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I was lucky enough to be the first test pilot, me and Cy Haraway. I think it's a good thing at the end of the day. Drinking and driving is not to be tolerated. Motorsport, we are supposed to be the highest level as a driver, not necessarily including me in that, but to have a drink test and even a drugs test, yeah, I condone it. And unfortunately I passed.
Bill, we've spoken to other drivers about the grid draw, but you've elected to start off the back, so you're not really part of the draw because you're running on your own. Tell us the reasoning behind that.
It's just can't afford the damage really, in terms of it costs a lot of money, and there's only me who sponsors myself, so it's stopped me racing basically, I think, and I'd rather go racing than not. And I've been quicker every track this year, so we're going in the right direction.
That's really good, and it's a great feature, isn't it, of Legends cars, that you can go into the mix if you want to, but equally, if you want to start off the back, keep yourself safe. Maybe if you're coming back from, or a newcomer, you've got that option.
Yeah, I think it's a great option. I mean, the racing's so competitive. I think it's a brilliant series.
Miles, first of all, how was the practice session this morning?
Yeah, it was really good. Car was very well. It was consistent, so the pace is there. Just hopefully you can keep it there for the races.
Grid draw wise, we've been talking to several other drivers about that, but you've got to start from the pit lane. Why is that?
Yeah, because at Donington in the final race on the Sunday, I overtook on a yellow flag, which gave me a 50 points deduction on the championship and also have to start in the pit lane of the next race, which is obviously the first race here at Snetterton.
So obviously as a driver you don't consciously overtake under a yellow, but I guess if you're unlucky enough not to see it, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I never saw the flag and I'd already made the move and, was flat out in fifth, so I'd already committed to it. So yeah, it's just one of those things really.
Miles Rudman starting from pit lane. He, I remind you, is the championship leader, 20 points ahead of John Mickle, and that 50-point penalty clearly hitting him hard. The officials all over everything at the moment in Legends Cars Racing. Quite right too, keep them all in line. I know the drivers don't always agree with the officials, but you can't argue with them. Here's the view from row 2 driver Nick Bridgman. To his right we've got James Hall-Morton. On the front row pole is Paul Simmons in yellow. Will Gibson side by side with Connor Mills, two of the drivers we heard from in the build-up to this race. But we are about to go 24-hour Solutions Legends Cars Racing here at Snetterton, and they head down in towards Rich's for the first time. Nathan Anthony in yellow pops his nose down the inside line. Miles Rudman starts from pit lane, and here we come into Rich's corner. Nick Bridgman passed by a couple of drivers. Nathan Anthony is there to his inside. Jack Parker scything his way through as well. Parker in the 13 car, read that well, but it's Paul Simmons that leads them around the hairpin for the first time. Side by side for second position. Rob King passes James Hall-Morton to go second. James, of course, a race winner at Brands Hatch, the second place man in the championship. John Mickle, you can see there in the chromed number 4 car. Good opportunity for John to get back into the championship lead here. Car with Jack Parker. Jack, of course, sidelined with that injury earlier in the season, missed the Brands Hatch speed test round, and John Mickle goes into the back of James Hall-Morton's car. James turning around, possibly James is on the brakes a little bit early. We'll try and catch up with both the drivers and talk about that later on. This is the two leaders though getting away. Paul Simmons from Rob King. Jack Parker is up into third place in car with Rob. Multi-race winner Rob King, and chasing Paul Simmons hard here. He's due a race win, to be fair. Comes onto the back straight. This is where the drivers get a little bit of a breather. All they've got to do is worry about whether they're going to go inside or outside if there's someone in front. And Rob goes to the left, which is inside, coming into Brundle corner after the bridge. And Rob King grabs the lead. There is Paul Simmons now in his wake. Jack Parker third. Will Gibson is in fourth place. A very entertaining, as ever, opening lap. Paul Simmons in red and black coming under pressure from Connor Mills. Meanwhile, Miles Rudman has caught the pack, passes Nick Bridgman. So this is a good run by Miles Rudman from a pit lane start. Remember, we saw Cy Harraway start in the pits at Donington and came through for second place. So there are some real talented drivers in this field. Hello, we've got a safety car. Now why? That's why we've got Nathan Anthony in the Sevan. He's sadly off and not safe as Jack Parker bump jars with Paul Simmons back into the lead. Nathan is okay, but the safety car, well, it's a 3-mile lap. To be fair to the officials, they scrambled the safety car when they could. It's either going to be a very long wait for all of the cars to come round again and the safety car to wait for them, or we'll see the cars drop back. Jack Parker, the new leader, look at that. Jack is pacing them superbly. And through and past goes the safety car, and now everything is as it should be. Everything is as it should be, apart from what's happening to Nathan Anthony, who's our first retirement of the meeting. But Jack Parker read the situation superbly there in the 13 car, backed them all up, safety car got to the front, and now we are getting ready to go Legends Cars Racing again. There's Marcus Peck, 5th in the championship. Marcus, the driver from Boston in Lincolnshire. Green flags here, and we are Legends Cars Racing once again. Parker, though, being challenged by Paul Simmons, looks down the inside line. Parker goes wide. Paul Simmons will see the gap. We're looking back from Jack's car now, and Paul Simmons challenging hard again. Hasn't looked down the inside line as they come up into the hairpin. So these two, still Rob King in third, but Will Gibson is immediately behind. Then Cy Harraway. Cy is 4th in the championship. In car with Rob King, looking back. Will Gibson man from Camberley, the TWG Automotive Blue Sky CAD car, running well there. Very slightly downhill as we ride on board with Gibson on the back of King. Looks down the inside line, coming into Agostini. Rob King has seen him, gives him room, and Gibson converts fourth into third place. King holding on the outside line, might get passed as well by Cy Haraway, who saw the gap, nipped down the inside line as well. They're heading up in towards Hamilton Corner where they are now. King holding on the outside. If he braves it out, he might get the inside line into August. There's Marcus Pett trying to go around the outside line now. We've got Simon Haraway in front of us. Side by side, Marcus Pett getting a little bit more momentum. This is the run through Williams Corner onto the Bentley Straight. So Rob King from leading the race. This is how competitive Legends cars are. A very tough lap though for these cars. Two very long straights, which is really going to take its toll on the motors of these cars. It's a double-header weekend. We're just focusing on day one's racing as King goes back in front. This is the trio for the lead. Paul Simmons out front. Second position, Jack Parker on board with Jack and looks on the inside line to grab the lead. Superb move. The door is open now. Will Gibson tries to go through. Will not quite close enough to nip through on the inside line of Paul Simmons, but it's Jack Parker. Jack is 12th in the championship. Rob King, who we saw earlier on, is 11th, and both of them had issues over the course of the season. Obviously Jack with the injury, but very clearly back to full health now, Jack Parker, and running well. And for him the season is about enjoying himself and seeing how far up the table he can get. In car with Will Gibson, chasing down the straight. Look at the two of those cars bump drafting past Parker. Simmons leads, Gibson goes into second place. Now will Jack Parker join in and do a bit of bump drafting as well? And that's Sean Smith, third in the championship, who's coming into pit lane and into retirement. A major story and a front runner in the championship out of the race. Paul Simmons in front, Jack Parker on the inside line there of Will Gibson. So we've had the championship leader starting from pit lane, third in the championship. Sean Smith is out of the race by the look of it in pit lane as Will Gibson tries to hunt down Jack Parker. Well, this group all fighting it out for lead position. Paul Simmons in the lead, Jack Parker second, Will Gibson third, then Cy Haraway in fourth place, Marcus Pett is in fifth, and Gibson here working with Jack Parker along the straight. The bump drafting, as we've said before, in Legends cars can work for you. Parker leads, Gibson up into second. Paul Simmons will now have to work with somebody as Cy Haraway goes side by side here with Marcus Pett. Rob King looking to get back on the inside line, which he does. Marcus Pett went out wide, and Miles Rudman from the pit lane has caught Rob King. Now bear in mind that Rob was leading earlier on. What a drive we've got here from Miles Rudman, who leads the championship. He's ahead of John Mickle. Mickle is the nearest driver to Miles Rudman in the championship points. Championship table: Rudman, Mickle, Smith, Haraway, Pett, Mills, Gibson, Simmons, Hall, Morton and Anthony. That's the top 10. Whenever there's a retirement, it is a big story. As I say, the fact that we've lost, as they go on to the last lap, we've lost Sean Smith. Any retirement is a big deal in Legends cars racing, with potentially 200 points for the win going amiss. It's good news for Miles Rudman and John Mickle, who will pull that little bit further clear. Mickle was 85 points clear of Smith coming into this race. Race leaders down into the hairpin once again. Jack Parker's got a reasonable distance here ahead. We've got Paul Simmons in third, Cy Haraway in fourth place, Rob King still running well too. In car with Rob once again. Rob working hard, really nice shot of him at the controls as Jack Parker comes out of Palmer Corner downhill in towards Agostini. This is the middle part of the infield section. Rob King now past Cy Haraway, and Miles Rudman's going to go through as well. So Miles Rudman is up into fifth position now. Rob King in front of him, then Cy Haraway, but out front Jack Parker now being caught by Will Gibson. This is the last lap. They're coming towards the last part of the infield section. Then we've got the big long run down the Bentley Straight. A little bit of drifting there from Jack Parker. And Will Gibson will be looking to try and close in if he picks up the slipstream, which I think he is doing now already through the corner. It's about a car's length between the two. It's got to come from those two for my money. Paul Simmons back in third, Rob King in fourth. Then it's Miles Rudman and Cy Haraway. Gibson's got the lead. Will Gibson back into the lead. But Jack Parker looks round the outside line. That's not going to work for him. So Gibson has got the lead, but has he timed it right? Because remember, Legends is a game of chess at over 100 miles an hour, and it could all be about timing as Jack Parker now tries to close in on Will Gibson, the race leader, once again. Parker closing in, goes to the inside line at Coram. There was a gap there, and Parker's back in front, but will they switch again before they get to the checkered flag? Around the sweeping Coram corner, coming up into Murray's, the 90-degree left-hander, and now onto the centre straight and up towards the checkered flag. Will Gibson's having a go. I think it's got to be Parker surely, but Gibson is closing in, picking up the draft. Here comes Gibson, side by side to the flag, and Parker just takes it. Gibson second. Paul Simmons completes the podium, and they're still racing down the order, not so far behind. Here is Nick Bridgman, busy challenging Robin Fountain. Side by side they go. That was really close between Bridgman and Fountain, but Jack Parker takes the win. That surely is going to move Jack up into the top 10 of the championship. Parker wins, Gibson second from Paul Simmons and Rob King, Miles Rudman fifth from pit lane, Cy Haraway sixth, then John Mickle, Connor Mills eighth from Marcus Pett, and Nick Bridgman did get the better of Robin Fountain to take 10th place. Fountain 11th, Mike Borner in 12th from Mike Schlupp, then James Hall, Morton and Bill Reid. Non-finishers are Sean Smith and Nathan Anthony. Fastest lap went to Cy Haraway on the penultimate lap 5, 2 minutes 14.501, as our lead trio from our first race of three make their way down into victory lane.
Jack, great race. Congratulations on the win. First win since you come back after your problems.
It is definitely, Andy. What a great one it is at the lovely Snetterton with the lovely weather. Yeah, it looks promising for the weekend, and hopefully I can continue the results.
It's always a worry, you know, when you're watching a race, you think, yeah, Jack's in front, but there are drivers behind him. He's going to get mugged. That's how Legends works. And Will was side by side with you at the flag. How worried were you about losing the lead?
I was, a bit worried, especially when he took me down the back straight. I managed to pip him back round the long corner, but yeah, just to manage to keep that nose in front of him. Oh yeah, well over moon. But just even to come second, it's still an achievement for first time back.
Will, great podium. What a close race. You've lost your hat, so it looks like you warmed up a bit from when we spoke to you this morning.
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer now. It'll come back out a bit later on, especially if we get on the podium overall. Yeah, that was a cracking race. It's everything Legends is about: hard, frantic, tactical racing, right to the finish. So yeah, a lot of respect to Jack. He played a really good race, and yeah, just probably by a tyre's width got me, I would say.
Paul, another great Legends race. It's all carrying on from Donington, isn't it, where you had a win, and you're looking for your first non-Donington win. Not that far away. Great pace again.
Yeah, no, it went really, really well. Really happy with it. Car seems to be all right. Seemed to get a little bit loose towards the end there. I think the tyres started to go off, but yeah, no, it was pushing hard.
Sean, a big story for us coming into the weekend. You're third in the points and a retirement. What happened?
Oil leak. Just cracked an oil pipe. I saw a bit of smoke on the first lap. I saw a bit. Carried on around. A bit more came out, so we just pulled off. Just a broken oil pipe. Bad luck.
So the good news is it's fixable. The bad news is you can't really afford to drop 200 points on the other boys.
No, that's it. They fixed it, got it running now. They're running it up, just making sure it's all right. But yeah, it's a lot of points to lose for the start of the weekend.
Nathan, what was the story in that one?
Didn't make a bad start. We had quite a good start to begin with. Middle of the pack. Go around the first bend, bits and pieces. Go down to, I can't remember the name of the actual corner itself, but to the hairpin. There was a bit of a kerfuffle. Had to back right off on that particular occasion. Then put us back to the back of the train. Got going and we go down the main straight and turn into the left-hander. Just come from nowhere and just went straight in the back of the van, which then turned us round. Unfortunately, we spun it round and the engine was on a rotation and it disengages the starter motor, so we can't restart it because it breaks the inertia on the starter motor. So we had to retire, unfortunately.
All fixable for race 2, so we will see you around.
We're back up and running now. We're back up and running. The boys are on it. So we've got it all to do now to get some points back.
Si Haraway on the front row with Robin Fountain, and then our two main protagonists. Oh, there's John Mickle starting from pit lane, as Miles Rudman did in race 1. But John's, we think that is for the lock-up that he had, the contact that he had with James Hall Morton locking up going down to Agostini in race 1. We've got Will Gibson and Jack Parker, the main protagonists from race 1, at the front of the grid this time, because they started last time from the back. And our onboard view from Nick Bridgman in the 68 car. So safety car is, or pace car, at this point in the race, into pit lane, ready for some 24-hour solutions. Legends cars racing, away we go. Si Haraway is on pole, former champion Robin Fountain to his outside, multi-champion John Mickle makes a great start from pit lane. Remember, we saw Miles Rudman having a super drive in race number 1 from the pits, and John Mickle, we know, is made of stern stuff. As Jack Parker goes around the outside line of Robin Fountain, it's Will Gibson the leader. So Jack Parker, the man with 1 win under his belt so far, is in 3rd place. Si Haraway busy chasing the 31 of Robin Fountain, and Jack Parker just betting himself into the race. Lovely blue skies here, great weather at Snetterton on day 1 of our meeting, although it was a little bit cold this morning, as you heard. And it's Will Gibson out front. Jack Parker looks for second, inside line coming into Agostini. That's a classic Snetterton pass. A couple of lock-ups a little bit further back, but none of the shenanigans we saw in lap 1 of race 1 here. Nick Bridgman chasing podium finisher Paul Simmons. Oh, big sideways moment there, wheel on the dirt for Robin Fountain. Si Haraway goes through the inside line, Jack Parker's up ahead of him. Robin Fountain not looking happy, very squirrely indeed in the 31 car. And Jack Parker, this is deja vu, because we've got the same pair leading the race, trying to pull away already as they come onto the Bentley Straight. Very nearly calling it the Revit Straight then, old habits die hard, it used to be known as that, before Jonathan Palmer's redesign and rebranding. Here comes Rob King down the inside line of Marcus Pett. Very, very busy behind as they come into Brundle corner. Brundle the left-hander, Nelson the right-hander immediately after that, leads into Bombhole. On board with Rob King, goes wide, loses a place there. Sean Smith looking to get some points back in the 21 after his retirement in race 1. Sean, I think, still 3rd in the championship, but Si Haraway will have closed the gap a little bit. Si was just shy of the podium in race number 1. So here is the Gibson and Parker duo. Will Gibson is, or was, 6th in the championship coming into the meeting. Looking to try and close down on Connor Mills, who again doesn't seem to be as sharp as he was at the start of the season at Brands Hatch. Connor Mills, multi-race winning driver, just hasn't been able to put all the machinery together for him. Look at that double bump drafting along the straight, superb stuff. James Hall Morton at the head of that quartet. In car with Nick Bridgman, Paul Simmons still in front of Nick. Nick chasing hard at the moment. Simmons has a little look as they come down into the hairpin, and it's James Hall Morton up ahead of Robin Fountain, side by side. Nathan Anthony in the Savan. Rob King's got a great view of that. And Rob dives down the inside line, and it looked like Robin Fountain who spun. There was contact there on Rob King's car and a melee. We've got Nathan Anthony who's having a miserable meeting off on the grass, but manages to rejoin this time. Mike Borner in the 5 car is stricken as well. Well, not stricken, he's coming back on. That was on the exit of the Palmer left-hander. Well, it sorted them out, and I think everybody's got going, which is the good news, if there can be any good news of losing a hatload of places for those drivers. I didn't see what happened to cause Robin Fountain spin, but what we did see in the earlier footage was Robin struggling with the car a little bit, so maybe that not to his liking. He carries on. He's got Mike Borner in front of him. John Mickle in the chrome car now gets past Paul Simmons. Nick Bridgman is next up in the blue 68. John Mickle making very good progress through the field, as we would expect. So a little bit further up, Miles Rudman ahead of Si Haraway, then Connor Mills in the 82. Connor still racking up some points. 6th in the championship coming into this meeting, and we've still got, after this doubleheader at Pembrey in South Wales, and then the big finale at Brands Hatch. So plenty of Legends action to come over the remainder of this 2019 season. the battle for the lead. Looking back from Will Gibson, and still working hard with him is Jack Parker. Wants to get away from Miles Rudman in third place. Rudman here on for some decent points potentially. Through goes James Hall-Morton. John Mickle is working with Marcus Pett in the Gunmetal 79 car, trying to climb his way through the field. John well inside the top 10, so a good drive from the multi-champion. In car with Nick Bridgman once again. There is John in the quick steel car. Marcus Pett just behind at the moment. I'm not sure John's going to make it up onto the podium. These two well clear of Miles Rudman in third, but Miles and Cy Haraway working hard. Again, two championship rivals, but working together to try and close down on the two lead drivers, Will Gibson and Jack Parker, who are out front. Incredible in reverse grid racing that you can get the same pair coming through and leading the field in such a competitive championship. Not what we wanted to see. Nathan Anthony this time makes it back to pit lane, so they can start the remedial work earlier than they did after race number one, but not the day for the Savannah. Big shame. And hopefully Nathan can do something off what will be a front of the grid start in the final. Remember, the lower point scoring drivers start off the front of the grid for the third race of the day. James Hall-Morton up ahead of Paul Simmons, then Sean Smith in the 21. This is again a quiet race for Sean Smith, further back than he would like to be, as the battle for the lead. Will Gibson, is it Will's turn to win this time? Jack Parker is going to have a go at him, looks at the outside line, and Gibson comes along centre straight. Let's have a look at what Jack Parker's tactics are going to be. Bit of bump drafting maybe. Yes, they're on to the last lap, so Jack Parker needs to try and suss out what's happening as Nathan Anthony is pushed back towards the garage in the van. There is Sean Smith. Sean up ahead of the 51 car of Paul Simmons. Across the line they go onto their last lap, so just under 3 miles for them to go. Paul Simmons, James Hall-Morton is next up. Sean Smith is being passed here. Simmons to the outside line. Great move by Simmons, but Smith holding on to the inside line as we watch Miles Rudman. This is the battle for third. So Connor Mills, having said he had a quiet race, is challenging for a podium position. He's the third of the 3 cars we're looking at. The leaders are heading down into Agostini. Jack Parker looks on the inside line. Nothing doing there. Not quite close enough to Will Gibson, who holds on to lead position. Gibson's still there. Here's the 3-way battle for third. Miles Rudman is there. Miles, remember, was 5th in race number 1, but the top point scoring driver starting at the back in the final at the moment will be Will Gibson and Jack Parker. Cy Haraway has a look for that third position as well. Jack Parker goes for the lead. This is what Will Gibson did in race number 1. It's Parker's turn here along the long straight, but he could be on the wrong side of the track here unless Gibson gives him room. Through the left-hander on the brakes. Gibson is decisive, retains the lead through into Nelson corner. Our camera is just outside bomb hole. Parker just bumps the curbs. That might have cost him a fraction of time in the 13 machine, so it could be a P2. But remember, Will Gibson closed right up on Parker in race 1, and it looks like Parker is trying to do the same thing here. Great view from Gibson as they go through Coram corner. This is all about the momentum that Parker can get along the straight on the exit of Murray's where they are now. And let's have a look. Gibson is the leader. Jack Parker may well come out of the slipstream. He's half a car's length back. This is the run to the flag on board with Parker. Here he comes, side by side up to the checkered flag, and it's Gibson that takes it. 1-all between Gibson and Parker. Superb stuff. Here is Nick Bridgman. Busy chasing hard. Sean Smith in the 21 car is going to be mugged here, I think. Paul Simmons just gets the better of that battle. Then James Hall-Morton, Sean Smith in 10th place. Nick Bridgman in 11th position. Third place, incidentally, went to Miles Rudman. But Will Gibson and Jack Parker, what a superb meeting they are having. 1 win apiece after the 2 races. Gibson wins, Parker second, Miles Rudman third from Cy Haraway and Connor Mills. John Mickle from the pit lane into 6th. Then Marcus Pett and Paul Simmons. James Hall-Morton 9th ahead of Sean Smith. 11th was Nick Bridgman from Mike Schlupp and Rob King. Mike Borner in 14th place from Bill Reed and Rob Fountain. Nathan Anthony, sadly again non-finisher. Fastest lap going to Jack Parker. A shade under an 80 mile an hour average here And here is Jack making his way down along with Will Gibson and Miles Rudman into victory lane.
Will Gibson, congratulations on the win. I think our viewers might be excused for thinking that they were watching race 1 again. It finished in a different order, but just tell us about it.
Yeah, that was a great race. I got the lead quite early. Jack did a great job just basically sitting on the rear bumper and just working together so we could make a gap from the rest of the pack. And as I said on the track interview, it's when you've got two people that are so close in speed working together, it's just brilliant. You can just pull away from the rest of the guys battling. And credit to Jack. I mean, he could have slowed us down by making moves, but I think he was just saving it for the last lap, and it was close, but yeah, we just got a win.
Jack, another thrilling race, but P2 for you in that one.
Yeah, P2, I'll take that. After what Will did for me in the first race, pushing me all the way, I thought it's only in respect to giving him back. So, but we tried to have a go at the end. Not quite got the pace, but I'll take second. First and second so far. Let's see if I get another top 3 and I'll be happy.
Miles, you know, Will and Jack were a little way down the road, but you were involved in a very frenetic 3-way scrap for 3rd place, which you managed to pit, and a few more championship points and a slight extension of the lead for you.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's what we're looking for, consistency. Had to, obviously, after starting in the pit lane after the first race, I then had to start at the back again because it was the reverse grid, and I drew blue 1 for the first race, but obviously they reversed the grid, so I had all the work to do again. Got down to 3rd and thought, right, I'll try and catch these two, but they were just gone. There's no way I could catch them, so it was a good race. So.
Nick, 2 steady races, 11th and 10th place results, and how have they been for you?
Yeah, first race, unfortunately got pushed a bit wide into the first corner, so dropped a few places, but obviously coming 10th wasn't too bad, and we just had an 11th in the second race.
So you were telling me after qualifying today, or after practice, that your lap times have improved a great deal?
Yeah, we're 3 seconds quicker than last year, so second year, yeah, we're 2:16 steady. I mean, some of the guys I think are pulling 2:14s, but yeah, we're quite happy with today's speed at the moment. We're on the pace.
James, not your day-to-day so far. Tell us what problems you've had in both of the first 2 races, please.
Well, it's sort of the bad luck sort of carried on from Donington, to be honest, because at Donington we had both engines go, we had brakes shattering, we had a stone stuck in the throttle to finish it off on Sunday in the final, and now come at Snetterton, both engines been redone, and in the first race, the first engine we got 6 laps out of it, managed to cross the line, but the gearbox went and the engine just went flat, so we've changed to this one. The power's back, but the car isn't handling quite right, so hopefully now we can get somewhere near for the final.
We're just waiting for the grid to be published at the moment, but I'm guessing you're going to be somewhere near the front.
Yeah, I reckon front 2 or 3 rows, I reckon, because we've had 2 finishes and I know some lads have had DNFs, but not where we really wanted. We wanted to come and get some points, and yeah, everything's just against us at the moment and not going the right way.
Will Gibson is the top point scorer jointly with Jack Parker. They start at the back of the grid. On the front, we've got Nathan Anthony, who's had a miserable round so far. Sean Smith to his outside. Nick Bridgman with James Hall Morton and Mike Schlupp just in front of him, getting ready for lights out on our 3rd and final Legends race of this round. And away we go. Sean Smith looking on the outside line there of the yellow van. Nathan Anthony, Robin Fountain right in behind. James Hall Morton looks for an outside line. 3, 4, maybe 5 wide into Richie's corner, heading down in towards the hairpin for the first time. Jack Parker, Miles Rudman already making progress. Past Cy Haraway goes Jack Parker, or does he? On the outside line, we've got Marcus Pett in the mix as well. Mike Borner on the inside. Superb start as they come through Wilson corner, heading down into the left-hander at Palmer. Bridgman passed by John Mickle. Mike Schlupp there in the number 3 car. Looking to come through on the inside line there is Marcus Pett, but it's Nathan Anthony, the race leader at the moment. Nick Bridgman on the outside. Connor Mills and Miles Rudman go through. Down into Agostini for the first time. Sean Smith chasing in second. Nathan Anthony the leader. Marcus Pett's on the grass and cannons into Paul Simmons, who in turn hits Mike Schlupp in the black number 3. They are all around and I think have all got going again. But that start, Marcus Pett was on the grass there. I'm not sure how he got there, whether he was forced onto the grass. Probably was. perhaps no option for him as we go in car with Rob King. Rob looking ahead, but it's Nathan Anthony holding the lead here. It'd be so good to see Nathan Anthony grab a win. He really deserves some luck after a torrid first 2 races. Sean Smith bump drafting with him. Robin Fountain next up from Rob King, who is in 4th place. Battle for 5th between John Mickle and James Hall Morton as they come down the straight. In car with King, looks at the inside line, nothing quite doing there. Nathan Anthony maintains the lead from Sean Smith. Now it's 6 cars in that lead group. 7th position is Mike Borner, then Miles Rudman, but Nathan Anthony's driven a very good opening lap here. Driver well capable of taking a win, but there's a wide line from Nathan, leaves the door open. Sean Smith goes through into lead position. Smith's got the lead. Nathan Anthony down to 2nd. Robin Fountain is in 3rd. Still got Rob King in 4th place, but Sean Smith, again a driver starting at the front in race 3, means that they haven't had the luck in races 1 and 2. But it does give them a sporting chance of getting their weekend back on track. Again, on board with Rob King. Here comes John Mickle. A little bit of bump drafting with him. The Chrome car couldn't see it momentarily. They bump draft their way past Rob Fountain. Fountain on the outside line of Nathan Anthony in the van. 3 wide as they go into Rich's corner. And Will Gibson, who of course now having had a 1st and a 2nd with Jack Parker, looking to get as high up the order as he can, as Jack will, to try and win the day outright on points. It's not the winner of the races or the winner of the final race that takes the trophy. It's the winner who scores. The winner is who scores the top points over all 3 races combined. Rob King working hard, so this is 2nd place at the moment for Rob, with Sean Smith out front. Sean just trying to get back on track after that retirement in race number 1. Gibson goes down the inside line of Mike Borner. Miles Rudman on the inside line to nip through into 3rd. John Mickle into 4th. Fountain down into 6th place. Then we've got Connor Mills in the mix as well. This is what I love about Legends, the 3rd and final race of every meeting with the day's fastest guys at the back, and a little off there. Will Gibson makes a pass. Well, we saw a wide moment for Connor Mills, but he's still on track, so he's managed to recover as Connor Mills, but back with the battle for the lead. And Rob King looks down the inside line here, Sean Smith. King through into lead position, on board with Will Gibson. Working hard is Will Gibson, looks to the outside line of Cy Haraway, who goes on the inside of Nathan Anthony. Contact between the 2. Haraway on the inside, makes it up. Jack Parker trying to come through as well. I'll tell you what, Nathan Anthony in the walls here. That little bit of contact from Cy Haraway. Jack Parker goes through as well. Then it is James Hall Morton, Rob Fountain, Connor Mills, proof that he's back on track. Mike Borner is next up. Here is the leader though, Rob King, the man from York, out front, but for how long? Because he ran a little bit wide there. And Sean Smith back through into the lead. Miles Rudman's going to follow suit. Looking across, Barry Smith challenging for the lead across the line. He's got Miles Rudman as his wingman now. They bump draft their way past Rob King, who's down to 3rd, down to 4th now, as John Mickle comes up into 3rd place. Mickle throws the car into Rich's, and he's in 3rd. Rob King's got to try and fight back now. It's a 4-way fight for lead position. King to the outside-ish line, or middle line on the corner on the way into the hairpin. He's slightly defensive from Will Gibson and Jack Parker, who's trying to come through as well. Those 2 pass Cy Haraway. There is Cy on the outside line of the 83 car. Cy just doesn't quite seem to have the edge that we've seen from him in the past. He's grabbed a fastest lap in race number 1, but at the moment it's Miles Rudman leading this one. Sean Smith 2nd. Will Gibson about to try and have a go here at Rob King. He's on the inside line, coming down into Agostini. Makes the pass. Jack Parker sees the gap, will try and follow his wingman from races 1 and 2 through. Cy Haraway might try and get past Rob King as well. Here is Bill Reid in the 67 car. Gentleman driver, of course, started off the back of the grid, enjoying his racing. Bill setting some good times as well, and running at the moment in 15th place as down the main straight comes the battle for the lead. Parker and Gibson, we could probably use the same footage from race 1, but they go down the inside line of John Mickle. Gibson 3rd, Jack Parker in 4th at the moment. Gibson will be the day's overall winner. He's running in 3rd place if they were to throw the checkered flag out at the end of this lap, which they won't. unless there's a problem on track. I better not speak too soon. John Mickle back in 5th place and up with the lead group, but it's Miles Rudman who is still out front. Looking back, Gibson and Parker. Great camaraderie. There's so much camaraderie in the Legends Cars paddock, which is why drivers like John Mickle, the Morton family, stay with it year on year. Nathan Anthony's been with us a good long while as well. Driving standards flag going out for someone. I think that will be for track limits. I'm not sure who that is for at the moment, as Parker looks up the inside line. Sean Smith thinks about looking for the race lead as well. On board with Will Gibson. Parker goes 3rd. So Jack Parker now potentially the day's overall winner. Really, it's whoever finishes out front between Parker and Gibson to simplify things with the 1st and 2nd in the first 2 races of the day. Parker now challenging for 2nd. Sean Smith doesn't want to give him the room, understandably, and Jack Parker backs out of that one. Here comes Miles Rudman, the race leader. Jack Parker now gets onto the back bumper of the 21 car. Here we come down into Agostini corner, and it's Parker trying to close up with Sean Smith, then Will Gibson, John Mickle in 5th. Surely the winner is going to come from those 5. Cy Haraway is in 6th, but by no means finished at the moment as Sean Smith gets onto Miles Rudman again. Rudman, remember, championship leader in car with Jack Parker. Jack trying to work his way up the points table at the moment. Jack, very much you would have to say racing purely for fun after missing the Brands Hatch American Speedfest round. And here we come. Are we going to get 3 cars bump drafting? No, it's 2. They want the lead, and Sean Smith, aided by Jack Parker, goes through to lead position. Miles Rudman relegated down to 3rd, and now Jack Parker, having done the aiding and abetting bit, looks to the outside line and grabs the lead. Superb stuff from Parker. That was a lesson in Legends Cars racing from Jack Parker. They clatter the curbs. Parker leads. Sean Smith in 2nd place. Miles Rudman in 3rd. Now Smith and Rudman and probably Will Gibson will work together to see if they can overcome each other. Don't discount John Mickle in the Chrome number 4 car, 2nd in the championship. Remember, John Mickle has been fast and consistent over the course of the season. Not as many race wins as we've seen from him in previous years, but that's nothing to do with John's performance. That is the overall competitiveness of the 24 Hour Solutions Legends Cars Championship 2019. Very slightly uphill along Senna Straight. There's the black and white flag still out there. Rudman looks to the outside line. Sean Smith goes to the inside. It's still Jack Parker who holds on to lead position. Will Gibson is challenging for 3rd and has got the line, but Rudman's got the pace. Out of riches, Jack Parker sees a swoop to the inside line by the 21 car. Sean Smith goes back into the lead, so Parker, having done the hard work, now sees the 21 car of Sean Smith doing hard work as well. Great work too, going back around and into lead position, but Parker's not finishing yet. How they race closely without mishap, I don't know. Here comes Parker again, out of the slipstream, down the inside line, into Agostini. Classic Snet pass here by Jack Parker. He'll be careful not to go too deep into the corner and leave the door open on the exit. Goes a little bit wide, but certainly not enough for Smith, who takes the racing line out of the corner, chases Parker. Miles Rudman coming back into the mix as well. So it's Parker the race leader. A little bit further back, there is Robin Fountain. Nathan Anthony still there. Nick Bridgman in the mix as well in the 68 car. Nick trying to close up. Nathan Anthony having better fortune this time at the moment. We better not speak too soon, as Parker leads from Smith. Miles Rudman with Will Gibson. Let's watch Gibson and see if he can move up the order, and bump chance with Rudman into 2nd, and surely going to go through into the lead. Rudman into the lead now from 3rd. Will Gibson challenging for 2nd. Sean Smith won't let him in though. Smith's got the inside line and runs a little bit wide. Good car control there from Sean Smith, and maintains 2nd position. Will Gibson 3rd, Jack Parker 4th. John Mickle watching all this and just wondering where he'll be able to get past, at what point he'll be able to bump draft, as Miles Rudman starts to put a little bit of a gap now. So Rudman out front. Nathan Anthony's still chasing Robin Fountain, who in turn is busy chasing Nick Bridgman. Onto the last lap, 3 miles to go here. I said it's going to come from these 5. I can't see anybody else closing out. Rob King comes into pit lane. They've got, that's his mechanic Jim there with a spare back bumper. to try and fit on. So he's obviously had some contact somewhere along the line. That might have been that earlier incident in the race where that happened. He's going out. Jim's not looking too happy. I think he's going out without the new bumper. Yes, he is. That won't go down well with the stewards, but he wants to get out and race. He's on his own, so, you know, technically doesn't cause any problems. Here we are with Will Gibson. John Mickle through on the inside line. Mickle up into 4th place. Miles Rudman leads. Sean Smith is in 2nd position, and Miles Rudman here could be our 3rd different winner in 3 races. That again is trademark. Oh no! Nathan Anthony's out. Again, looks like a repeat of race 1. Dismal meeting for Nathan. Such a shame. A gritty competitor. Great personality in pit lane there as Paul Simmons gets past Robin Fountain. That is for 8th place. And here's the battle for the lead. Sean Smith challenging hard. Miles Rudman is the man very much under pressure here. Watch Smith in the 21 car, the man from Marlow. He's going to have a look. Jack Parker being challenged by John Mickle. This is for a podium position. Parker at the moment looks like he's going to win the day outright, but it's Miles Rudman in front. Sean Smith couldn't get past Jack Parker closing up. So too is John Mickle. Through Bombhole for the last time. A quartet for the lead of this race. Will Gibson back in 5th. The winner's going to come from the top 4 as Sean Smith looks down the inside line. Sean Smith at Coram Corner challenges for the lead. Jack Parker is there as well. John Mickle there too, but it's Miles Rudman, the championship leader, who is out front at the moment in the 7 car. Out of Murray's corner, Rudman's got a length or so. Gibson coming up to join the party as well as they head towards the checkered flag here. And it's Miles Rudman who leads, but Sean Smith goes to the outside and has to go on the grass. Miles Rudman wins it by 200ths of a second from Sean Smith, who was on the grass. Jack Parker takes 3rd place. Nick Bridgman gets 7th. Mike Borner takes 6th place. Great result. I think possibly a career best for Mike Borner. I'll have to check back on that, but it was Miles Rudman who went wide. Sean Smith was on the grass. Jack Parker 3rd. John Mickle in 4th from Will Gibson and Mike Borner. Nick Bridgman 7th ahead of Paul Simmons. Then Rob Fountain and Marcus Peck completing the top 10. Mike Schlupp was 11th from Cy Haraway and Bill Reed. A few non-finishes. Rob Keane got disqualified for going out without that back bumper, and he'll start from pit lane in the first race of our next round as Miles Rudman makes it 3 races, 3 different winners here at Snetterton.
Miles, a great day from the spectators' point of view. You've had 3 different race winners, and for you, obviously, extending your championship lead.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I'd have been happy with the top 3, but 1st place is really good. I'm very pleased with that.
And that seems to be becoming the norm now in Legends Cars racing, a side-by-side finish.
Yeah, it's just so close at the top. It's literally tenths in it between us.
Sean, congratulations, another stunning Legends race, side-by-side, but you're on the grass. Tell us what happened.
I got probably a better run on Miles from that one, and I was just going to pass down the outside. He was just coming across, so we had not a lot of way to go really.
But very close racing.
Absolutely brilliant race, loved it. After a bad start to the day, we were very happy with what we've done today now.
Jack, another great race for you, working with Will, coming through the pack as well. Ultimately, you made it to the podium. I think you've won the day, but just talk us through your race. And any problems at the end?
Yes, we've got a bit of problem. There's a massive oil leak, and thankfully the engine's lasted to the end. But we're going to have to get it up on the ramp and actually inspect it. If there's any major damage, the engine's got to come out, which is really unfortunate as it's on song this weekend.
Some work to do then for Jack Parker and the team. Having done all the work on track today to win round 9 ahead of Will Gibson, Miles Rudman in 3rd, Paul Simmons 4th. A tie in 5th between John Mickle and Cy Haraway, then Marcus Pett. Nick Bridgman 8th from Sean Smith, and Mike Borner completing today's top 10. Jack Parker the winner. Thanks for watching today. Please join us next time once again here at Snetterton.